What's up, y'all? My name is Audrey. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. Then came Roatan. For those of you who are just tuning in, I moved from New York, Brooklyn to be exact, to the beautiful island of Roatan in 2011, as you can see with my beautiful backdrop. Ever since then, my journey has taken me on several different paths, including entrepreneurship, motherhood, and cultural discovery. So on my channel, you can expect to find a little bit about each of those. Plus, you'll also find some tips and advice about relocating outside of the United States for those of you who have yet to take that leap of faith. So without further ado, let's go straight into it. Even though my parents are from here and, Roatan wasn't new to my sisters and I, we came every summer as a child. We came as tourists. We just came to have fun. Nobody was worrying about visas and school and all this paperwork. We were just worrying about having a good time, and that's it. Then you go back to America and continue your life. So when I moved here, I kind of continued with thinking the same way, and that's exactly why I hit a bunch of roadblocks when it came to doing certain things as far as settling into the island. So I'm here today to share with you all 5 tips that I learned, 5 things that you should consider before moving to the island of Roatan. So grab a pen and paper, because if you're thinking about moving here, trust me, you're going to want to know about these things. So let's start with number 5. Number 5 is length of your stay. How long are you going to stay when you visit the island? And this is really important to know beforehand, because every country has immigration restrictions, and Roatan is part of Honduras, which means that immigration law is governed by the Honduran law. Okay. Upon entry to Roatan, your passport is going to be stamped with an automatic 90-day visa. That means that after 90 days, you are going to be charged a fee if you overstay the 90 days. So every month that you're here after that, the fee increases by a certain percentage. And if you don't pay the fee, guess what? Somebody's not flying back home. So it's really important to determine that. You have a couple of options if you do plan on staying more than 90 days. As your 90 days are approaching, maybe day number 89, you might want to buy a round-trip ticket to a nearby country like Guatemala, Belize, El Salvador, and leave for about 3 days and then come back. When you come back to Honduras, you'll be stamped with another 90-day visa. So you would have been there for 6 months. And you can continue to do that every 89 days, because 90 days is, your time is up. Or you can also apply for residency, which allows you to stay the amount of time that you want without paying any fines. Number 4, location, location, location. So the island is divided into 2 sections, 2 different municipalities. You have the Santos Guardiola municipality and the Roatan municipality. Why is one municipality called Roatan and the other not? The world may never know. Anyway, so Santos Guardiola is on the east side and the Roatan municipality is on the west side. What's the difference?
The west side has everything.
Nah, let me stop. Okay, so to a certain extent, right? Let me explain. So Santos Guardiola, aka the east side of Roatan, is the less developed side. It's up and coming. It's more residential. There are less, big supermarkets. There are less big businesses. It has a lot of beautiful views, right? It's the more serene side. Now, the west side of the island, it has most of the tourist attractions. You have the shopping area, you have the banks, the big supermarkets. So when it comes down to location, you really have to think about, how do you want to live? Like, what type of environment do you want to be in? Do you want to be where the happening area is, where it's always busy? Is it important for you to be near the hospital? Is it important for you to be near your children's school? Is it important for you to be near the big supermarkets? If you need to be around where everything is going on, you need to be on the west side. If you don't need to be around all the noise and all the tourist attractions, then come on down to the east side with us folks. Number 3, language barrier. Yes, Roatan is in the Caribbean and we are an island and we do speak English here, but in the past couple of years, like the past 15 to 20 years, There's been a bunch of migration from the mestizo population on the mainland of Honduras because Roatan is a very popular tourist destination, and every year the amount of tourism, it grows. So everyone wants a piece of the pie, and because of that, a lot of the mestizo population has migrated here, and they brought their culture along with them. And since Roatan is under Honduras rule, again governed by Honduras, Honduras is a Spanish-speaking country. All of the legal paperwork is in Spanish. So if you're trying to open up a bank account, or you're, buying a car, any legal documents that a lawyer has to make for you, it's all going to be in Spanish. If you have to apply for visas for your spouse or your family members, and you bring in documents from the US, it has to be all translated into Spanish, although you are in an English-speaking island, because we are part of a Spanish-speaking country. Does that make sense? Okay, so pretty much what you should do is brush up on your Spanish skills. There are a lot of online platforms and programs that can teach you some Spanish before you come. Otherwise, you might want to get yourself an interpreter, especially if you're doing business transactions. You got to bring out the broken Spanish, and that's exactly what I do. Yo hablo español. No muy bien, pero lo hablo. Number 2, moving your belongings. So you decided to make the big move. You have a date set, and now you're figuring out how to move all of your stuff from the US to Roatan. Well, the good news is there's a lot of different shipping companies that you can choose from, but be wary, because when my parents recently retired, they sent a huge shipment with someone, and that was 3 years ago. We still haven't received the entire shipment. So be wary of shipping company you decide to use, okay? Because I still feel some type of way about that person. Anyway, I digress. So what you need to do if you're thinking about bringing your belongings here, is think about what do you really need, because Honduras and Roatan, we're not a third world country, so a lot of what you need, you probably already purchased here. And the reason why you might want to think twice about shipping all of your stuff as opposed to buying is because your things have to come through customs. And sometimes there's a delay in customs, and it might not be your problem. And now your things are 3 to 4 weeks behind when it comes to delivery. Or sometimes the taxes cost more than what you're shipping. Like one time, my cousin bought a phone. The phone cost like $150, and we had to pay like $100 in taxes. So I don't know how everything is calculated, but sometimes it just costs way too much in taxes to pay for your things to come from the States. So I say pack whatever you can in your suitcases. Maybe bring 4 or 5 suitcases. I know you're going to have to pay extra luggage fees, but pack whatever you can in your suitcases. But when it comes to things like appliances and anything necessary for your home, they have good places here to buy. Plus, on the mainland of Honduras, there's a bunch of big stores. They even have a Walmart on the mainland. So you could buy a whole bunch of stuff from Walmart and just bring it over the ferry to the island. So really think twice before you pack up all of your things, and try to see what you can actually buy here and what you can't buy here. Number 1, my number 1 thing that I suggest for anyone moving here is money.
Here comes the money.
Money, money, money. What are you going to do for a living? How are you going to survive? Because whether you're in China, America, Honduras, every place has their cost of living, right? So it's really important to decide what you're going to do to make money. So the cost of living in Roatan is kind of high compared to the mainland of Honduras and the neighboring countries. For starters, the cost of electricity, Reco. Anyway, the cost of electricity is 4 times higher than the US average. Okay, so some people actually pay more in electricity than they do in rent. That's ridiculous. But anyway, that's another story for another day, y'all. I digress. The minimum wage is about $500 a month. So if you know you can't survive off of that, I wouldn't even suggest looking for a job here. What most people do when it comes to income, well, there's a large retired population here, so some people are just living off of their fixed retirement income. Other people, they actually come here and they open up businesses. Most businesses they open up are in the tourism industry. So if you're thinking about going that route, you should really do your homework, because there is a high and a low season. The high season is from November to April, and the low season is from May to October. So the low season is really low. I mean, really low. Some would say even non-existent for some businesses. So if you decide to open up a business in the tourism industry, just think about your plan B, or your plan of action when it comes to the low season. What are you going to adjust as far as operations are concerned? Some businesses just close out the entire low season, or they go from having a staff of 15 to a staff of, let's say, 5 during the low season. So you have to just adjust your operations to fit the low season traffic if you're going that route. Also, just remember, we are going through a pandemic. The island has been shut down since the middle of March. So a lot of the tourism businesses are really suffering, and whenever tourism opens back up, it's going to be a really slow start. But nothing lasts forever. So when things start rolling, money's going to start rolling in too. So I wouldn't say scratch tourism off of your idea, but just be strategic about when you plan on launching it, and how you plan on balancing the seasonal atmosphere, right? So those were my 5 tips to consider before moving to Roatan. If you find this video helpful and you know someone who's actually considering the move, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. If you need more information, visit my website, www.thencameroatan.com, and I have a list of services available to help make your move more smooth. Don't do what I did. Just remember, information will save you time and money. So call your girl. Get in contact with me. The sun just came out. I forgot my shades in the house, so I am about to bounce. My eyes are getting all chinkies too. The sun is really bright right now. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to also like my Facebook page, my Instagram page. I'm gonna put all of that in the description box below. Sayonara. Bye. Ayo.